Namaste students, myself Sunil Kumar from the Department of Computer Science. Today we are going to start the new chapter, chapter 7, classes and objects. Remember that this is an important chapter for second PUC Computer Science. All the programs is based on the object oriented programming language. In case of object oriented programming language, classes and objects are important. Then today's topic is class definition and class declaration. Before moving to the class definition or declaration, there are two types of programming available. One is procedural oriented programming language. One more is object oriented programming language. There are two types of programming. In first PUC Computer Science, we studied procedural oriented programming language. In that, variables, user defined data type, structure members, functions, function call. So normal variables we used and user defined data types. Remember, there are three types of data types are available. One is fundamental data types, second one is derived data type, third one is user defined data types. In that user defined data types, we study the structures, structure members, structure element, functions and function call. What is studied? Procedural oriented programming language. In this year, we are studying object oriented programming language or OOP. Object oriented programming language or OOP. In that, we are going to study objects, class, instance variables, methods and message passing. These are the features of object oriented programming language. In case of object oriented programming language, the main use is we can convert the real world object into a data variables in computer domain. If you want to represent any real world entities in computer domain, then we are using object oriented programming language. In object oriented programming languages, we are using classes and object, and it is used for secured access of data. If you want to access the data securely, or if you want to provide the security to the data, then we are using object oriented programming language. In that feature, class and objects. Class and object features are used to provide the security for your data. In last chapter, we studied the basic concept of OOP, basic concept of object oriented programming language. In that, we studied class and objects. Classes, object, data abstraction, data encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, dynamic binding and message passing. These are the features of or basic concept of OOP. OOP means object oriented programming language. Objects, what is studied is object. Object is an instance of a class. Then what is a class? Class is a user defined data type which contains data members and member functions, or you can say that is a user defined data type. Next one is data abstraction. Data abstraction means it will hide the necessary details. Unwanted details or any details are there, that details will be hidden, only which is required for users, that will be shown to the user. That is data abstraction. Next one is data encapsulation, capsuling the data, wrapping up of the data. Any data is there, we can bind the data or you can combine the data into a single unit and you can bind that one. That is data encapsulation. Next one is inheritance. Inheritance is a feature same in biology. Child have the properties of parents, or child will resemble the properties of parents. That is actually known as inheritance. The same thing is applicable in case of computer science or C++. In C++, the child class will have the same properties of parent class. The child class will have the same properties of parent class. That is actually known as inheritance. Next one is polymorphism. Polymorphism means one thing in different forms. One thing in different forms, that is known as polymorphism. Next one is dynamic binding. Dynamic binding means code associated with the program is known only at the time of execution. When you are going to execute the code, at that time you will come to what is there inside. That is dynamic binding. And next one is a message passing. Message passing means we can pass the messages from one program to another program, or within the program we can pass the data, that is known as message passing. We move to our first topic, classes. Class is a user defined data type. Remember, class is a user defined data type. Remember, there are mainly three types of data type is available. One is fundamental data type, derived data type, and user defined data type. The fundamental data types are integer, character, double, float, and void. These are 5 fundamental data types. Next is derived data types. Derived data types are data types. Example, arrays and pointers. Arrays and pointers are known as derived data types. And last one is user defined data type. Example, structure and class. What we studied structure in last year, that is example for user defined data type. And this year what we are going to study class. Class is also known as user defined data type. User can define their own data type, that is class. It contains data members and member function. Remember, class contains data member and member functions. If you check the structures, structure contain only the structure variables or structure elements. But in case of class contains data members and also member functions. Remember, two things are available in a class. One is a data member and member functions. The next one is a class is an user defined data structure. It contains similar type of object. Whenever if we take the class contains a similar type of object, or it also combines a similar type of object. We can say if object has a similar type or properties. If object have similar type of properties and behaviors, those can be put under one group. Those we can put under one group. That group is called as class. We will take the example. In example, bike, car, bus, etc. Bike, car, bus, etc. have got the similar kind of data and behavior. Similar kind of data and behavior will be there for car, bike, and bus. So therefore, car, bike, bus, etc. are considered as similar type of object, or we can say that is object. That object has a similar properties. And we can group all these car, bike or bus in a single group. We can take all these in a single group. That group is called vehicles. That group vehicle is known as class. Understood? That group is known as vehicles. That group is known as class. We'll take one example. See, the same figure I took here. Bike, car, bus. Bike, car, bus. There are 3 objects which have the same properties. So I made into a single group. That group I named as vehicles. So that is, you can say class. Vehicle is a class. Bike, car, bus are known as object. But if you want to see the definition of a class is a blueprint, or class is the blueprint from which individual objects are created. If you want to create the individual object, class is required. So from the class is a blueprint from which we can create the individual objects. That is class. Next we will see the object. An object is an instance of a class, or we can say one drawer is there. If you take example of drawer, some books you kept inside the drawer and you locked it. After some time, if you want to open the particular drawer, key is required, same key is required. That key is known as object. Or we can say, if you want to access the data inside the class, data means your books. If you want to access the drawer, key is required. That key is known as object. In case of computer science, in case of C++, class means a drawer. So if you want to access the data inside the class, something is required. That something is known as object. If you want to access the data from the class, then objects are required. And an object is a basic real world element with attribute and behavior. It contains the attributes and behavior. Attribute is nothing but variables. An object stores its property in attribute, means variables. It stores the data in variables and show the behavior through methods. It uses the methods, means its functions. Object also uses functions and it also uses variables. Next is about class and object. Then how you can implement this class in our program? If you want to implement the class in your program, first you have to define the class, then you have to declare the class. First we have to define the class. Next you have to declare the class. Remember, definition and declaration both are different. Class definition is a process of naming class, data variables and member functions. See, class contains data members and member function normally. Class contains data members and member functions, and also naming of data member function, and also class. Naming of class, data variables, data members and member functions. That is known as class definition. After defining the class, then you have to declare the class. Declaring class means creation of object or declaring the object. Creation of object is known as class declaration. And after creation of object, we have to apply some operation to the object. We will apply some operation based on the object, that also known as class declaration. First you have to define, then we have to declare. Defining the class means just naming the class and data variable and member functions. That is class definition. Next one is class declaration. In class declaration, we are going to create the object and data members, and we will apply the some operation on the object. That is known as class declaration. We will see the first class definition. Class definition general syntax is class, then you should give the user defined name. You should give one name for a class, then open flower bracket, then at the end we have to close the flower bracket, then semicolon. This is the main structure. Class is the keyword, then we have to give the user defined name. One name should be given, then open flower bracket, and at the end, you will see that at the end, here closing flower bracket with the semicolon. Inside this flower bracket, what we return, that is known as a class body of the class. In that body of the class, can write private, protected or public, or three also possible, any two, any one. This private, protected, public is known as access specifiers. This will provide the security to the data. Private, protected, public, this will provide the security to the data. Then next one is, inside the private we can declare member data or data members, member functions. Inside the protected we can declare member data and member function. Inside the public also we can declare member data or member functions. In a program we can use three also, either private, protected, public. Three also we can use, any one also possible, any two also possible. That is based on the program. We will see one by one. First is a class. Class is a keyword used to declare a class or used to define a class. If you want to declare a class or if you want to define a class, keyword class is used. Next one is user defined name. User defined name is a name given to the class. For a class, you will give the name. But when you are going to give the name, you should remember the rules and regulations required to name the identifier. When you are going to name the identifier, some rules and regulations are there. Keyword is not possible. Remember the points. Keywords are not possible. Space not allowed. Uppercase and lowercase is distinct. Should not start with the numbers. Numbers are possible. So these are some rules. Which and all rules are there to name the variables? All the rules should be followed when you are going to declare the class. But better to give the appropriate names. Always I will suggest better to give the appropriate names. Then next one is open bracket. Then at the end you should use closing bracket and semicolon. Remember, when you are going to use the user defined data types in structure or class, at the end closing flower bracket, then semicolon should be there. So class body enclosed in a flower bracket always. Remember, class body should always enclosed in a flower brackets. The next one is member data. Member data is nothing but variables declared inside the class. Inside the class, if you are going to declare any number of variables, n number of variables you can declare. That variables are known as member data. The next one is member functions. Member functions, nothing but functions declared inside the class. Inside the class, if you are going to declare any number of functions, that functions are known as member functions. And last, private, public or protected. Private, public or protected, these are known as access specifiers. Remember that access specifiers which will provide access protection to the members of the class. Members of the class means member data and member functions. Data member and member functions are known as members. For that data members and member functions, it will provide the access protection, or you can say the security. Normally security will be provided by either private, public or protected. Later we will discuss in next session, upcoming session, we will discuss about access specifiers more. But now when you are going to use a small program, better to use public. I will explain later what is the difference between private, public and protected. Just now use as a public. Next we will have to see one example. In this example, class definition. Here class is a keyword, then class name. Here a class name I used as account. Account is the class name, then open flower bracket, at the end closing flower bracket with the semicolon. That is, a class is enclosed, always should enclose with open flower bracket, at the end closing flower bracket and semicolon. And I used here two access specifiers. One is private, one more is public. Remember, after access specifier colon is required. After access specifier colon, not semicolon, colons are required. Then I use inside the private, I declare the data members, means variables. Each and all variables are required in our program, that I declared int ACCNO, means account number, comma, next one is balance amount. For that I use balance, and one more I used character name of 25 array, or you can use character name. Then next one is the public. Inside the public, say after public, not a semicolon, it's a colon is required. Then the example is given as void input and void output. So in this program, input and output are two member functions. Account number, balance and name are data variables. So if you take the class contain data members and member functions. Then we will move to the next topic. Class declaration is also known as object declaration. Once the class is defined, then object can be declared from the class. If you want to declare an object from the class, first you should define the class. The class definition is already over, so we will move to the class declaration. Remember, class declaration first is not possible. First you have to define the class, then you have to declare. Class declaration means it is nothing but declaring the objects. Declaring object. Remember, number of object can be declared from a class. From a single class it is possible to declare number of object, n number of object. Then the object of a class are declared inside this in the same manner like any other variable declaration. When you are going to declare any other variable, integer variable, if you want to going to declare, here see here, integer variable int ACCNO, or character name, int balance, like that we created. Same we can create in case of objects. If you want to create object, we have to use same. General syntax is user defined name, means it's a class name. First you should give the class name, then space. After space we can give a n number of object. Object 1, comma, object 2, comma, object 3, like that, dot dot dot, then object n number of object. That is, object number of object is based on your program. Based on your program or based on you can create n number of object. Example I created here, last slide I created, see, is a class account. Class account is a example. In this example, class name is account. For this class name account, I created one more object, that is A1. A1 is the object I created for account class. So account is a class name, then space A1. A1 is the object. Next, after declaration of class, then you have to access the member functions or members of the class. How you can access the members of a class? If you want to access the members of a class, mainly object is required. Through the object we can access. Object is required. Through the object we can access the members of the class. Member function of the class we can access through the object, but one more operator is required. One more operator is required. That operator is known as dot operator. Member functions of the class can be accessed by using dot operator. Dot operator is required to access the members of the class. For example, we will take a class account is defined. with the two member functions input and output. Last example, same example. Class account is defined with two member functions input and output, and here object is created ACC. Account I created as ACC, not A1. Then how you can access the data or member functions? First we have to use object name ACC, then dot function name input, open bracket, closing bracket, semicolon. So that is to access input function. If you want to access output function, ACC dot output, open bracket, closing bracket, semicolon. If object is ACC means ACC. If object is A1, then how you can access? Whenever object is A1 means A1 dot input, then A1 dot output. If object is B means B dot input and B dot output. Like that we can access the data. And we will see the program example. Here in this programming example, I created one class sum. Then open bracket, at the end you can see closing bracket, flower bracket and the semicolon. So that is known as class body. Inside the class body I created only one access specifier. I used only one access specifier, that is public. I told use only public now. Later we will decide other or discuss other topics, private or protected. So public, semicolon, not semicolon, colon is required. Remember, colon. Then I used three variables are required. I created a program, I developed the program for adding two numbers, simple program, adding two numbers. If you want to add two numbers A and B, and output, if you want to store the output, C is required. So three data members or variables are required. How many number of variables are required? That is, we can declare as a data members. So that is data members. Next I created first function void input. One function I created void input. For that I wrote the code. Next function I wrote void process. One more function. For that I wrote C is equal to A plus B. One more function I created void output. In that C out C. So if you want to add two numbers, C in A, B, you should take the two in input. Then C is equal to A plus B, C out C. So three member functions are there. Then after that, in void main, first I created the object, or that is known as class declaration. First I created the object S, sum space S. S is object. Then after that I am going to access S dot input, dot operator is required along with the object. Object is S. S dot input, so we can access the input function. Next S dot process, so we can access process function. Last one is S dot output, so I can access output function. So this is the simple program. But when you are going to write the program, keep one thing in mind. First, class name. Give the appropriate name for the class. If you are going to add two numbers, then give the class name as add, sum, like that. Appropriate names. And when you are going to subtract two numbers, you can give class name as subtract or sub, anything. And when you are going to declare when you are going to multiply two numbers, you can give multiply, multiple, anything you can give class name. Give the appropriate class name so we can understand easily what is that. And also when you are going to give the function names, so here I created input, process and output. Input function is used to feed the data, or if you want to give the data, input. So you can give input or any other also possible. Get data function you can use. Any function names. And process I used here adding two number process. No need to give the process always. You can give any other function. That is up to you. You can give the process or add also possible. The next one is output function. So output we can give not only output, we can give the display, disp, show, anything. Put data, anything, any functions. All the function names up to you. Remember, this is a one programming example. Based on this session, you have to take two programs. One is multiply two numbers and subtract two numbers. That two program you have to convert into a object oriented programming language or class and object like this. Take two programs. One is multiply two numbers and one more is subtract two numbers. Take that two program and convert into class and object method. So we reached the end of our session today. In this session we studied class, defining the class, how you can define the class, how you can declare the class, then how you can access the class members and simple program. So we studied class definition, class declaration, accessing the data members, and one simple programming example. So today wind up our class. Thank you.